Okay, hang on a minute, guys. You're sharing your screen using the microphone. Let's make sure. I've been doing okay. So I saw this and I had stopped the entire video and I wanted to share it with you guys. Instead, I went on this huge long chat, which I will be taking this a bit further down the road in a few minutes. This was hilarious. Watch Trump. This might be a little loud, so just be aware. I want you to watch his body language with Macron and I've been watching Trump since he announced in 2015. My brother actually carries his book around. He's told me he does. Well, there's a long story behind that. See, so you guys don't know like the history of Trump in America. And you're disrespecting him, but you say he's disrespecting you and the American people. Well, his base don't give a fuck. Now, let's listen.
France support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated because they are the one to have.
I can't hear this. Will the U.S. or somebody be compensated? Now listen to this. Watch Trump. He's a businessman. Macron is married to some bizarre-looking man, some sort of a individual. I don't know what it is. Looks more like a dog to me. And something about compensation. Go. Ugh. I'm having issues.
France support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated.
All right, listen to this. Do you support the idea of the U.S. being compensated was the question. Look at Trump's body language and expression. He loathes this. He knows it's part of the process. Watch.
Will France support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated.
I have to
because
support.
they are the ones
Listen to this.
Lose a lot of their fellow citizens and
can't
being destroyed by this attack. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated,
This is
but not by Ukraine, by Russia.
He said, I support Ukraine before the U.S. Is this guy out of his mind? He doesn't get Trump and he doesn't get Americans. Okay.
Will France support the U.S. being compensated?
Who's something about who friends support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated because they are the one to have.
Oh, no.
Lose a lot of their fellow citizens.
Okay. Am I going to have to redo this? Because my internet is completely messed up, which is nothing unusual. What do we have going here? I support Ukraine first because they lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed. Ukraine has destroyed a lot of their citizens, which is something you don't know because it's not being reported. He's perpetuating the lie, the narrative. I'm going to slow this down. I'm having trouble making this work. I'm really pissed off too. Okay. We're slowing it down just a bit.
Will France support the U.S. being compensated?
Well, France.
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated because
bad. The U.S. has dumped billions of taxpayer dollars into this mess for Europe by Biden, Blinken, Newland, Kirby, Sullivan et al. Power, Samantha Power. This is bullshit. Do you know he just said that to Trump in his face in his house? Bad. One more time. Well, does France support the idea of the U.S. getting their money back? Well, we're sitting here. I paid $109 for one grapefruit, one head of lettuce, a 12-pack of brew, some English muffins. What else? 4 cans of tuna, a bottle of salad dressing. I have the receipt in my wallet. What else did I buy? A 12-ounce bag of coffee, because you don't get a pound anymore. You just get 12 ounces. And some creamer. And I couldn't find anything else I was looking for because everything is just not available. And so while you're with your man in France, I'm running around pushing a cart on a solid ice parking lot on crutches, trying to get to the store and back. But you don't support us being compensated? Shave your sideburns, Macron. You look stupid.
France support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have
I support the idea of
Ukraine first being
to have Ukraine first being compensated. Big mistake. So we pour all this money in, and now you want us to give more to them? Okay. He's not a thinking individual, or he doesn't know how we think. He doesn't know how Trump thinks.
first being compensated because they are the one to
They started this whole mess.
have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by this attack. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but
All of those who paid for could be compensated. Fuck you, Macron. Watch Trump.
not by Ukraine, by Russia, because
Oh, okay. He wants. He's crazy. Look at Trump. He's like, fuck.
there was a one to aggress.
No, they were not. Trump has already said that they weren't. He's called Zelensky as dictator.
Just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No,
In fact, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They're getting their money back. Now, in fact, to be frank, we pay 60% of the...
to be frank, we paid 60% of the total defaults, and it was...
They're paying 60% of the total defaults. Trump is laughing. Look at his face. Watch his face. He's a businessman. And he's like, we're paying 60% of the total defaults. And it was like the U.S. loans, guarantees, grants. No, Biden gave the money. Watch him.
Of the total defaults, and it was through...
He is laughing.
Like the U.S.
Did you see what he did with his hand?
To be frank, we paid 60% of the total defaults, and it was was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we
Oh my God, my computer, why now? Yeah, it's not working at all, is it? Nope.
we provided real money.
Laughing
to
at
be clear.
him.
We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe,
He's laughing.
Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia will have paid for that.
If you
This is my
believe
wish.
that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President.
If they get their money back, we don't, and now we do. But, that's
We will
only
fight
fair.
both.
Mr. President, you Russia should be the one that pays everybody back. Are they the aggressors?
Well, we're negotiating everything, and
Okay, my computer is just not responding to what I'm doing here, and now I've got another video sitting. This was a weird exchange, and it was pleasurable, really. I'm trying to commentate on it, but I just can't because of bad internet issues.
Support the U.S. being compensated?
I support the idea to have Ukraine first being compensated because they are the one to have lose a lot of their fellow citizens and being destroyed by these attacks. Second, all of those who paid for could be compensated, but not by Ukraine, by Russia, because they were the one to aggress.
Oh, this is terrible. I'll redo this tomorrow, I guess. Wow, this reminds me of dial-up.
just so you understand, Europe is loaning the money to Ukraine. They get their money back.
No, in fact, to be frank, we paid. We paid 60% of the total effort, and it was through, like the US, loans, guarantee, grants, and we provided real money, to be clear. We have 230 billion frozen assets in Europe, Russian assets, but this is not as a collateral of a loan because this is not our belonging. So they are frozen. If at the end of the day in the negotiation we will have with Russia, they're ready to give it to us, super. It will be loan at the end of the day and Russia would have paid for that.
If you
This is my
believe
wish.
that, it's okay with me.
Mr. President.
They get their money back, we don't, and now we do. But, that's
We will
only
fight
fair.
both.
Mr. President, you Russia should be the one that pays everybody back. Are they the aggressors?
Well, we're negotiating everything, and everything's on the table, and we'll see if we can get some land back, and we'll see about a lot of different things. And we're gonna be making a little speech and say a few words in a little while. We're gonna have another meeting, a luncheon meeting, and we'll see you in about 2 hours. Okay? Thank you very much, everybody.
Yeah, I would have to say that I can't move the computer here. Wow. Okay. Oh, do you see what's happening? I'm not even touching this. I can't imagine why Macron would correct a person whose entire life is based on loans and real estate and making deals, and Trump was just like laughing at him. You must, like when Trump talks about Biden and he waves his hand like that, that is a bad sign. That means he thinks you're all right. Let's see if we can get out of here and save it. I mean, I've spent an hour just trying to deal with this crap.